It has been an extremely long time since I have made a video. So today I'm going to do one, and it's basically for people getting into astronomy and astrophotography, or even if you don't want to do any of that stuff and you just want to take a look at some stars, some planets, whatever it may be. Hopefully this video will be informative and helpful to you. So we'll start with the basics. You got reflectors and you have refractors. What's the difference? A reflector has a mirror built into the back of it. It gathers the light and then it displays it through the eyepiece. That's the short version of it. It can go on going about detail and everything, but that's the short version. Then you have refractors. A refractor basically gathers light in the big lens, transfers it to the small lens, and then from the small lens to the eyepiece. In layman's terms, this is not a 100% accurate description, but that's how it works. Okay? So here's the difference between a reflector and a refractor. The refractor, mine looks like this one. It's got the big lens in the front right here. And then there's another small lens inside. And then it goes all the way to the eyepiece. Okay? This is a reflector. The mirror is inside of here. There it is. It reflects it, and then it bounces it back through the eyepiece right there. And then you can see whatever you see through the eyepiece. So, which one is better? There are pros and there are cons. Both of these, by the way, are on equatorial mounts. So, here's the equatorial mount on this one. It's all set up pretty much the same way. And here's the equatorial mount on this one. They're both equatorial mounts. This one is the Astromaster 114. This one is the Power Seeker, what is it, 70 EQ. So they're both made by the same company, Celestron. Celestron makes pretty good telescopes. This one is more powerful as far as zoom goes than this one. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys the difference between the reflector and the refractor through my personal experience. The reflector zooms in very well. You can see objects that are pretty far. If you're looking for a good beginner telescope, this is the one to get. For beginners, this is a good one to get if you want to see things far away. If you have the exact celestial coordinates of what you want to look at, and you're able to lock on with it using declination and right ascension, if you're able to do that without having to use a star finder, then this would be the one to get. Yes, it has this up here, and it's supposed to help you find the stars, but Celestron needs to get it together. Because honestly, as a person who had never used a telescope and taught myself how to do all the telescope stuff that I now know how to do, that piece of the telescope is trash. This right here needs work. But like I said, the same company made both telescopes. They made this one as well. This is a star finder. It's got a lens on the back, it's got a lens on the front. So basically it's like a smaller version of the big telescope. If there were one of these on here, it would be much easier to use this one. But since there isn't, I prefer using this one. They both have the same kind of mounts, but you won't have to be precise with your celestial coordinates. If you're a beginner and you just want to see stuff, point blank period, and you don't know anything about right ascension, and you don't know anything about declination, I would go with this one. I got this one for free. It was given to me. I got it on an app called Let Go. I got that one for free. It was given to me. It does not have as much zoom as this one. However, you can only see so many things with a regular sized telescope. Unless you're about to go work for NASA and use a telescope the size of a building, we're all going to see the same thing. You get good views of Mars in the wintertime and things like that if you live in North America, like I do. You get views of Jupiter in the summertime, Saturn in the fall and in the summertime. Mars gets seen when, what is it, when Venus and Mercury also come out. So you can see things like that. You can basically see things like Mercury, Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and the moon. It's about 6 things, 6 or 7 things. If you're looking to see like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you're not going to be able to see it with your naked eye by looking in the sky. Because the furthest planet you can see that looks like a star in the sky is Saturn. Neptune and Uranus are further than Saturn. You're not going to find it unless you have the exact celestial coordinates. Using the exact celestial coordinates, you would dial them into here, where all these numbers are. You use your declination and your right ascension and all that. There are videos explaining declination and right ascension. So if you're really interested in learning how to dial in coordinates, go look those videos up. This is not what this video is for. I'm not teaching anybody about declination or right ascension. I'm giving you my experience on which telescope I think is better for an unexperienced person to use. Because I got these telescopes and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I looked up all these videos on the internet and it cleared it up for me. But I learned most by using. So although the Power Seeker doesn't offer as much of a zoom as the Astromaster, which the Astromaster is, it's very good. I like it. But it's very hard to use that to find what you're looking for. Because sometimes this is out of alignment. You got screws here that affect this. And if you maybe, without noticing, knock into it, or sometimes you're moving it and they just might become loose, that's supposed to be the Starfinder, but it doesn't work. I don't like it at all. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes sometimes to lock on a Saturn or Jupiter using this one. With the Power Seeker, I go right outside, I look through here, lock on instantly. It's super easy, super beginner friendly. I would say use this one. And if you're concerned about zoom or seeing something bigger, go with a Barlow zoom. The lens. This one comes with a 3x Barlow zoom lens. I've tried it. 3x is just too much because there's too much atmospheric interference. Too much heat rising off the planet, too many clouds, too much steam, too much this, too much that. I wouldn't use a 3x on any one of these because that's just too much zoom. The most I use is like a 2x with a 10 or 20 millimeter maximum. 20 millimeter or 10 maximum. Because also with telescopes, the smaller the number, the more zoom you have. It's weird. I don't know why it's like that. Go figure it out. But if you have a 20 millimeter, you see more of a sky than if you had a 10 millimeter. The 10 millimeter is what you would use if you're zooming in, if you want something to go bigger. When I first started, I thought it was the other way around. I started with the 10 and then I moved to the 20 and I said, well, would you look at that? The size actually went down. So if you want to zoom, your numbers have to go down. So I've got a 20 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, and I've got a 4 millimeter. I have tried the Barlow 3X on the 20 millimeter and on the 10 millimeter. Not happening. You're not going to see anything. It's going to be hazy, blurry. You're just going to be upset. It's not happening. I know everybody wants to be able to take these pictures of the planets that look like you work for NASA. It's just not happening with a regular telescope like this. Okay? Also, these videos and these pictures you see, sometimes they tell you, actually a lot of times they tell you, but if you're not really paying attention, you're not going to notice. all these pictures and all these videos of planets that are far, far away that look crystal clear and have all this color are not from one picture. They've taken about 100 pictures. They've laid them on top of each other in like a Photoshop or whatever editor you want to use. And they recolor it. They adjust everything so it looks nice. These are overlaid pictures. So you're not going to get the same picture just by snapping your camera into the eyepiece, which is very hard to do, by the way. I know, I've tried. But they also have, there's another feature on these. They both have mounts where you can attach your DSLR camera. I have one. It's not here with me right now, but if you have the camera, you would put it right here. Right there. Right in that little hole. I've got my Simon games out. I was playing Simon Air earlier. That's cool. This one has one too. It's right there in the back. Second hole. So you could actually put cameras on top of it. Take a picture of the night sky. If you want to take a picture of what you see inside of the telescope, you have to put the eyepiece of your camera, your lens on your camera, to the eyepiece of the telescope. It's very difficult. I would know. I've tried. What else? They sell mounts, like 12 bucks, 13 bucks on eBay, where you could actually make your camera the eyepiece. So just look it up. It's called a telescope adapter, if that's something you're interested in, astrophotography. It's called a telescope adapter for DSLR camera. And it basically just makes your camera into the eyepiece. You can take 1,000,001 pictures. You can do all that good stuff. Use this one, okay? If you're beginning, if you're a beginner and you know nothing about right ascension, declination, dialing coordinates in, use this one, okay? You cannot go wrong. You can see everything in this that other people can see with theirs. You will never go wrong. If you're just starting, use this one. That's my advice. It's got the star finder. This one, yes, you can still use it, but it will take you much longer to lock on to a planet or a star or anything like that because you do not have a star finder on that one. They claim that you have one, but no. Okay? So this one, once again, is the Power Seeker 70 EQ. And this is the Astromaster 114. To the guy who gave me the Power Seeker, if you ever see this, cool beans, thank you. It works better than the one that I paid for, sadly. So, that's my take on it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. If you want me to show you how to use equatorial mounts, leave it in the comments. It's really pointless. There's hundreds of videos out there about it. I'm just here to give you my personal opinion on which telescope I think is better for a beginner to use. This is not a video that's really for people who already know what they're doing. This is for somebody who is like, I can't make up my mind, which one should I get? Get this one. That's the answer. It's my opinion of what the answer is. Like all the people in the astro videos say, clear skies or whatever. Anyway, have fun.